everybody, this is Lara at Pure Elliott Wave. I'm going to do an XRP update for you, run through Elliott Wave, then we'll do technicals monthly, weekly and daily. I'm in an airport lounge, so I'm going to try and make this brief because people are going to think I'm talking a bunch of bollocks. Well, okay, fine. The bigger picture for XRP is I still expect a third wave up. The target is 48.94. If it lasts Fibonacci 8 years, it may end March 2028. That's using 14.72, which is not a Fibonacci ratio. That's the length of this third wave to this first wave. So a previously exhibited ratio between a large degree third wave. Using the same ratio, a target for primary 3 would be 27.44. If primary 3 lasts a Fibonacci 55 months, it may end June 2027. Not all of these waves exhibit durations on the Fibonacci number sequence. We've got 42, no Fibonacci duration, 26 here, one short of a Fibonacci 13, short of a Fibonacci 21, one short of 13 and a Fibonacci 8. So they don't always exhibit a Fibonacci duration, which means that these are estimates, and if they don't exhibit a Fibonacci duration, there's no way you're going to be able to estimate when they're going to end. All of these third waves, cycle 3, primary 3 and intermediate 3, may only subdivide as impulses. One of the core Elliott Wave rules for that is 4 may not move into 1. This is my bottom line for XRP. I don't expect a new low below 0.9301. Draw a base channel for cycle 2 to the end of primary 2 here, to the end of primary 1, a parallel copy. Look for the lower edge to provide support for any deeper pullbacks, although I don't think we're going to get anything near that point. The base channel should see the middle of a third wave breach the upper edge with extreme volatility, and that would be an indication that yes, this is the correct Elliott Wave count. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame. I think we're going to go from the end of intermediate 2 here. Here's the end of primary 2, start of primary 3, an impulse, intermediate 1. Intermediate 2, 4 short of a Fibonacci 55, intermediate 3 underway, unfolded as an impulse with minor 1, 2 longer than a Fibonacci 21. I expect minor 2 is incomplete. I don't want to see it complete here because that would see it as running flat, and those are really rare. Now that's possible, but the probability is really low. There's nothing in this analysis that is certain. It's all a balance of probability. On balance of probability, I expect C to move below the end of A to avoid a running flat, a very rare truncation, because B has moved beyond the start of A. 2 may not move beyond the start of 1. I don't expect any new lows below 0.3825. If we see a deeper than expected pullback at this time, I would expect support at the lower edge of the base channel. I copied this over from the monthly chart, but I don't expect it to get that deep. Let's take a look at the daily time frame. Let's look at the end of minor 1 here. Oh no, we're going to look at just C. So minor 1 off to the left of the chart. I haven't updated this chart. So far it's remained below wave 1 price territory. So let's update this. So 3 possibly complete here. If that's true, then 4 should be complete here. That should be it. And I'd expect it's probably a double zigzag. So let's put that in. Nice alternation with the flash of 2, double zigzag for 4, because this doesn't look like a 5, that looks like a 3. Now it's possible 2 could be complete here, but that's, as I said, at the weekly time frame, a really low probability. Let's take a look now at some technicals really quickly. At the monthly time frame, we're looking at almost all of, no, I'm zooming in. Let's see, I'll zoom out and I'll show you what I'm going to show you. I want to look at this big consolidation for XRP. And here's the all-time high just a couple of months ago in July, 3.6650. So there's a huge consolidation, a bit of an upward trend, higher highs and higher lows, but it hasn't really made much of a higher high, and now for the last few months it's essentially moving sideways. Huge bullish engulfing candlestick pattern here, and the moving averages are bullish. The 1 year is above the 2 year, and they both have positive slopes and prices above both. ADX still indicates there's an upward trend. It's very extreme, but that can be sustained for quite a long time for crypto. RSI is neutral. The close here 3.035. and the close here 0.023, so there's no bearish divergence and it's back in neutral territory. It can remain extremely overbought for quite a while price moves a considerable distance. This is a very extreme market. Money flow likewise neutral. There's plenty of room for the larger upward trend to continue, and ATR has been showing a really strong increase, a huge increase in volatility for XRP, unlike Bitcoin, which is showing a lot of weakness at the moment. So I'm expecting some pullback for Bitcoin and a little bit for XRP, but this one is looking a lot stronger. Let's look at the technicals and the weekly. There was a descending triangle pattern here. It broke out downward with a close below the lower support edge of the triangle, and it's reached the target for that, and now it's moving sideways, finding resistance at the lower lower edge about 2.7. I expect support may hold about 1.8 to 1.9, but we'll have a look at the daily. There's a bit more support below there, and I want to zoom in on this big consolidation. I also want to point out previously this strong exponential-like upward growth is a really typical feature of strong bullish runs, and that is to the upside, so that looks like there is still volatility to the upside, and I expect eventually new all-time highs and again a strong increase in volatility when it's finished this consolidation. Volume is declining, its price moves sideways. That's typical behaviour during a consolidation, normal to be expected pause in the larger bullish run. ATR is very, very slightly increasing. The negative DX line is above the positive, so a downward trend at the weekly time frame is currently indicated. After exhibiting strong double bearish divergence at the weekly time frame, RSI is now neutral, so that bearishness is probably now resolved. There's room again for an upward trend to continue when this pullback is complete. And the same deal with money flow. At the weekly time frame, we see price moving sideways and ATR declining, price moving higher, ATR strongly increasing. Volatility is really obviously to the upside still. At the daily time frame, zooming in on the most recent consolidation, I checked the length of this wick. It's less than twice the length of this body, so this isn't a hammer. There's no bullish reversal pattern. Support currently holding about 2.3 to 2.05, and below that about 1.9. The moving average situation at the daily, the short is below the mid, is above the long, so the 50-day moving average is still above the 200. The 200 still has a positive slope. They are fluctuating. This is an overall bullish look, but not very clear and not very strong. And volume profile is still bearish for the short term. I want to draw your attention to this consolidation area on balance volume. Draw this carefully on your daily charts. It's widening. We might not get a signal, but if we do get a signal, take that seriously, because these lines have a shallow slope. This one's nearly horizontal. They're long held and they've got multiple tests. Those are the three technical things that give a line a higher technical significance. So watch those. ADX is declining at the daily. There's no clear trend. Prices consolidating. RSI did reach oversold. Now it can do that at an interim low or the final low. Again, I've said this before, I have to say it again. The lows for cryptos are ridiculously difficult to identify. I want to see if we do see RSI get close to oversold again and we see a pivot developed in price and RSI, I'll be looking to see if there's any bullish divergence there. If there is, that could be the low. But for now, there's not enough evidence to say that the final low for this pullback is in. That's it for me with a really quick update for you today. I hope you're all having a lovely week. I'll be in Hong Kong for the next 10 days and then back off to Panama City, and I hope that I'll be able to give you more regular, at least once a week updates. So thank you very much for your patience while I had to go back to New Zealand and deal with all the things I had to deal with.